Hey Global Village, what's up? Okay, perhaps a little bit unwisely, I've decided, or at least feel somewhat compelled, to make another little video about the channel Predictive History. And again, I just want to give a disclaimer, or at least a clarification, that I like this channel. And in this particular case, it appears that he is about to launch a new series of videos specifically about game theory and the mechanics of game theory, so that we can better understand in detail how it works and therefore use it to employ and develop our own understanding of why things are happening in the world in the way that they are. And that's a good thing, so I'm looking forward to this series of videos. Now, that said, the opening stanza of his video really rubbed me up the wrong way, and I feel absolutely compelled to just sort of point out what I feel is wrong with what he's saying. And yeah, it bothers me. It bothers me that someone who is a professional educator is demonstrating what I feel is quite a significant level of sloppiness, because if someone like me can deconstruct what he's saying, and I would like to think present a relatively compelling and bulletproof case of why what he's saying is wrong, then it doesn't bode well for how much he's vetting his own work. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and just play this little piece and then explain why I don't like what he said.
And what I want to show you, or what I promise you, is that if you learn game theory, there'll be three major benefits to you as a student. Again, you don't have to learn game theory. You don't have, even have to come to class. But if you spend the effort to learn game theory from me, then three things will benefit you, okay? The first benefit is that you become a better person. The point of education, guys, it's not to get good grades or get into university or get a good job. What I believe is the point of education is to make you into a better person, which means that you are a much more thoughtful person who can better analyze yourself and the world around you. This allows you to make better decisions. This makes you a much more curious, much more moral, and much more imaginative person, okay? So one benefit of learning game theory is you become smarter, and therefore you become a better person.
Okay, he made a number of claims here, which I find highly dubious. First of all, and probably to me the most egregious, is that you don't become a more moral person by learning game theory. And I think at best, what he's saying there is a philosophical viewpoint. It's certainly not an empirically defensible one. And I think there is evidence which would completely contradict what he's actually claiming. And I would use Nicola Machiavelli as an example of that, because he was a highly educated person and he developed great insight into the human condition. But he certainly wasn't a moral person, and he used his insights for personal advantage and enrichment. So there are no guarantees that simple by dint of someone understanding and learning game theory that they're all of a sudden magically going to become more moral. So yeah, questionable claim. The next one is that he said it makes you smarter, and this is not true either, and demonstrably not true. It makes you more educated, and that's quite a big difference. And to highlight the point, let's just do a little thought experiment. You could have a person who has a very high IQ, who nonetheless knows not a single thing about the internal combustion engine, has never touched or looked or examined one a day in their life. And then you could have a person who is of demonstrably lower IQ, who has received a formal education in mechanical engineering, works at a car dealership and has been repairing car engines for the last few decades. Now, which of these two people are you going to take your car to get it repaired? Very obviously, the latter is the right choice, at least if you want your car to still work once you get it back again. So the point here is that education and intelligence are two completely separate things. I mean, he also said there that it makes you a more curious person, and I think he's putting the cart before the horse there a little bit, because in point of fact, it's curiosity that then leads you to become more educated. So, I mean, maybe as you become more educated, it feeds your curiosity and it continues onwards. So it's a little bit circular and maybe a little bit like, well, where do you say which is the comes first, the chicken or the egg? I get that. But again, I just think he's stating as fact assertions that are highly debatable, and it bothers me that someone who declares themselves to be a formal educator of young minds is making claims which are just not particularly well supported, even if you just deconstruct them using simple logic and common sense. All that said, I look forward to this series of videos he's doing, because great, I want to learn as much as I can about game theory, because it's just another way that we can use to understand the world. And the more tools we have for achieving that, then surely the better. So I say bring it on. And I'm not trying to argue that his channel doesn't offer value and that people shouldn't watch it. But things like this, well, I think they deserve criticism. And maybe I'm just a cantankerous, argumentative person who just feels like they have to bitch and complain about everything. I don't know, but it did bother me, so I'm making the video. I'm gonna upload it, and but I'm still gonna watch his videos because I think they're good. All right, Bendy out.